Hey guys, good morning. I'm finally stopping to take time to show you guys how I do my brows. I'm probably going to be focused forward a lot because the camera's to my left and the mirror's in front of me, but here we are. So I use this really inexpensive brow pencil from Walgreens. They're like $1.49. I usually buy like 5 or 6 of them, and my color is dark brown, so this is one of them. It's called Jordana. It's super inexpensive. I mean, at most $2, like $1.99. Of course, you have to make sure that you have a sharpener because, of course, you're going to need it. I buy the double size sharpener. I don't know why, I just do, just in case. So, anyways, I'm not really a big tutorial person, especially when it comes down to makeup, because I'm really trial and error. I looked on YouTube probably like 3 years ago and started working on trying to perfect my brows because I feel like for instance, right now I have on no makeup, and so my face looks amazing, but my brows to me are like a little scruffy because they don't grow very thick, so I like to enhance them. So that's what I'm going to do. And so I'm going to show you exactly what I do to enhance my brows. The other products I have that I use is a really cool concealer, and it's lighter than my skin, and it helps to just make my eyebrows pop and stand out. And you'll be able to see because they look a little dull in my opinion after I draw them on with the dark brown. And I just grabbed this from MAC, and this is called NC45 Studio Finish Concealer SPF 35. I can't remember, maybe $22, but it's a lot in there. It's a little pod that has a lot, so it lasts for a really long time. So it's definitely worth the $22. And then I also have a brush that I use. This is also from MAC, and it's number 242. So it's just, it has the way that it's shaped, it allows me to really get under my brows and be able to give it a really good defined look underneath to draw it on. So I'm going to do the first one, and then I'll just kind of speed through the second one so you can see the finished product. All right? Okay, here we are. And just know that I make mistakes even after I've done this for a while, so it's hardly ever to get it's very hard to get these things perfect. So I start off with just a little spool to brush them up. I like to brush mine up because that's what works for me. The ones in the front I kind of pull forward, but then I brush everything else up. And if you really pay attention, they are not arched. I'm real terrible with that, and most of the time I just kind of arch them myself because I'm so sick of all my brows being pulled off. All right, here we are. So I put my hand here above my nose, and I pull mine forward some, like I pull my skin in, and the reason why I do that is just because for me, if it's a little bit tighter, I feel like I can draw it on better. And so I start off by outlining it, the bottom, and then I outline the top. So with the top, for me, and as you can see, it's even with the inside crease of my eye. For the top, for me, it just depends on how thick I want to go. So mine stops here. If you can see that, it stops right there. Sometimes I draw up a little bit so that I can make more. And all you have to do is fill that in. But for this tutorial, I'm just going to draw around and outline my eyebrows just to show you how to do that. So I just simply wipe that off. Okay, keep baby wipes handy. I like to keep baby wipes handy because they're a lot cheaper than using makeup wipes all the time. So, okay. So here we go. So I start here just a little bit further back than where my brow actually sits. So I start here, and then I draw back. And my brows are not even, like they're naturally uneven. So a lot of times mine aren't even when I draw them in, and it's okay because that's just naturally how they are. And then I start to fill them in, and I just basically draw it back. And then I draw up because I like mine to be fully colored, and that way it picks up the hair. I usually switch pencils because I like my pencil to be super duper sharp every time I'm working on my brows. And then I'll go in and add the tail of the brow, just dipping it down here. You can see what I'm doing, and then I fill it in. And then at the end of it, you can decide how thick you want it. I generally like mine thin on a regular day, but it just depends on the day. Some days I like it a little bit thicker, so it just depends. So if you can see, it's pretty nice already. And then once I'm done with that, I take the pencil and I simply lift up. And if you can see there, you'll see how you can actually just push the hair and pull from this bottom tip to bring and ombre that front part. I don't like mine thick throughout. But it's an individual thing. You can if you want. Every now and again, I'll see I feel like it's not dark enough, and I just take my pencil and go back over it. No biggie. Okay. So that's that. And so if you're a person that you're okay with this, you're done. I mean, literally, you line it well. You don't want to add the concealer. This is good enough for you. I mean, listen, that was less than a 5-minute deal. And so you can get both of them done within 5 minutes. You could be on your way. Some people that works absolutely fine. I like to highlight mine with the concealer just because I like the extra oomph to it. So if you can see here, that's basically a finished brow. Before I work on my second one, I like to sharpen my pencil again, mainly because I just like them to be very, very nicely done. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and line this brow so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. And I'm using the concealer I just told you about and the brush that I told you about. So, okay. And please be patient with me. I'm not really a big video tutorial person, so I'm trying to make sure this camera is perfect so that you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I start in the back, pretty much like the corner here of my brow to shape exactly how I want it. Sometimes I lift it up because I like more of an arch. I'm just going to keep it a little bit simple today so that you guys don't have a problem mimicking this. So, okay. Then I bring the concealer down. Some people use a ton, but if you do that, that means you have to be good at blending. And I'm still a little lazy, so the blending part is just really not for me, if you know what I mean. Okay. So you really don't have to get a ton. I mean, you just kind of brush a little bit on the tip. And then I always hold this. I just like it tight. And then I do this faintly because I don't want to have to do a ton of blending. And then continue to perfect how I want that brow to look. So there you have it. Now blend it down because concealer, from what I've learned, can actually work as a primer for when you're going to put on eyeshadow. And even if you aren't going to put on eyeshadow, then you could use it to even out the color. Like my allergies cause my eyes to have dark circles. So it's always a good thing for me to have a little concealer on there. Okay. So I'm going to go back over it and brush up again just to get all my hairs going in the same direction. As you can see, here's what we have going there. Okay. If you pay close attention, you can tell that I do not have this arched. So I just simply add a little more concealer to give it a little bit more of a defined look. Just kind of lay those little hairs down. Okay. So it's a lot better. Oopsie. A little out of focus. Okay, there we are. Okay, so that's my first one. So depending on how or what type of day I'm having, I'll line the top. Like a day like today, I'm about to do a photo shoot, so I'm gonna line the top, but normally I just do just the bottom. I'll line the top for the sake of showing you guys how to do it. So this takes a little more straightness of the hand to be able to do, so you definitely want to take your time there. But again, I grab my skin because I like it to be tight so I can really see my line, and then I'd slowly take my time so I can go as straight as possible. Oops, might not be as straight as possible. And I simply arch the top, giving it a little circular look, and then I bring it down to line the top. And let me tell you, if you do this and you jack it up the first time, you're doing the right thing, because that's normal. If you do it and you get it perfect the first time, you're like supernatural, okay? Because this isn't normal. It took me a while, and even after you finally get the hang of it, you're going to start playing with all different types of shapes because it becomes fun, and honestly, it really brings a different level of look to your eye, to your face, I'm sorry, to your overall face. So here you have an arched eyebrow. And that's all, guys. That's all I do. And see how really nice that looks? And you can always, again, just kind of brush up your hairs, pull them forward to put a little bit more of a ombre effect in the front, which I always enjoy. I think that's kind of cool because it keeps that natural look going. But there you have it. It's an ombre brow. Okay. So I'll do the other one clearly for the sake of want my face to look even. But as I said, I'll speed that video up. So